Hello, hello, and welcome in. Welcome back to ECAC. My name is Whoops You, and this is Rocket Star alongside of me for today's Rocket League action. 4 teams remaining here in the Rocket League playoffs. This is the semifinals, and we're going to have ourselves an awesome matchup, which is Concord University taking on Weber State. Rocket Star, take us through these teams.
So on Concord, you got Pancake, who let us know that he did win, or his team did win, ECAC last semester. So this is actually the team to probably look out for. They've got Coast Helix and ET home. Nice squad. Definitely play solid together. We got Weber State, not Weber, Weber, as we learned.
Yeah, get it right. Put some respect on
it. We've got Zest, Under, and we've got Rivers. And, just a cool thing about this team is Under, you'll notice that he has Rockets engaged, and he's actually engaged to be married in a few months. So that's actually pretty cool. That's probably the most competitive thing that they actually were able to let me know before we went live today. But either way, most teams, you know how it is. They're super competitive, and they don't usually hype themselves up too much. But either way, I think it will be a good match overall.
Yeah, the relationship, the Rockets engaged, a little bit intimidating on the pitch, but it's not going to come down to relationships essentially outside the field. It's going to be the best relationship here on the field. Which team is going to be the best team? That's who's going to move on to the finals here in the ECAC. So, we're going to have ourselves, I think, an unpredictable matchup. Neither one of us, I think, can kind of conclude who's going to win this one. We're both on the fence. We're both kind of weaving in and out, but I'm going to kind of go with you as we hop into game number 1 right here. Best of 7, by the way. Rocket Star, who are you picking for this matchup?
I'm just going to go with Concord. They did win, ECAC last semester. So that being one of the few things, looking at the rosters, that kind of caught my eye. Like, hey, that means you definitely have to have the chance to win this, right? Looking at the actual breakdown of the rosters, though, Pancake is a GC3, and he's alongside 2 SSLs. On the other side, you got Rivers, who's a GC3. Everyone else is SSL. So again, this should be a very, very even match.
Yeah, regardless of the fact, we have ourselves, like I said, a best of 7 matchup. Hopefully we go the distance. Pancake fires a shot. What a save from Rivers as well on the back end. I was going to say that's the first opening shot, I believe, for Weber, but we had some offensive action as well on the opposite end of the pitch. So a huge monster stage to start this one off.
Yeah, definitely one of the most harder things with Rocket League is being ready to just save the ball. Every time someone's throwing the ball at net, Pancake with a shot on ET with a follow-up, and he can't phone home. Every time he is shooting that thing on net, it's instantly cleared. Zest really leading the charge on those saves.
Yeah, I got to be careful here if you're Weber as well. You have low boost. You have to kind of take your time. Rivers did just that, bringing that one right back towards midfield, but ET waited patiently, had the takeaway as well. Here comes Under. Helix going to fire a shot, coming off to the right-hand side. Zest has to pick up this boost. He does. He might extend this play towards the opposite end. I was going to say, Under was waiting on the right-hand side, doesn't choose to go up on that play. No aggression to start this one off for either team just yet. They're both being very patient.
I like the control, though. I don't necessarily like the respect. I want to see more ego challenges, just like we saw there. But there is quite a bit of space given by both teams. A little bit of a moment ruined there. Rivers just throws away the ball. I thought he would just shoot that on. Instead, he banged it to the backboard, and no teammate was able to follow.
Yeah, I think you said that correctly. I believe there is no ego challenge going out here. Like I said, no one really trying to put that foot forward just yet, trying to overextend on the offense or the defense. Under to the left side. Good 50-50 challenge from the defense right now from Concord. Another shot being fired away. Zest has the double tap. Not going to find his mark, but still, Rivers finds his way in. 1-0 to start this one off.
Zest with a beautiful bang, and it looked like Zest's touch was actually going to be on. So I think that's why EC and everyone went up for that, but Rivers was there, thankfully, to complete it. And I just think whenever we look at how attacks are happening at the net, you got to be careful on both sides. Although we've seen really good shot attempts from both sides, Weber was able to connect there because everybody was present for that. And that's something we're missing right now on the side of CU. And I'm hoping to see them step it up a little bit more connect-wise.
Almost 2 minutes remaining in this matchup. Game number 1. Rivers trying to connect with his teammate in that situation. Pancake right back towards midfield. Helix, good solid attempt, a good shot as well. Zest, easily read. Right back towards midfield we go. The transition on the offensive end. Under, trying to get the second touch. No boost to work with. Going to try to reset this offense. Still keeping the pressure onto the backs of Concord so far. And that's what we've been seeing so far, I believe, in the first early matchup. It's just been, you know, Weber taking their time, being very patient. Taking it back towards midfield and trying to reload as well. Here comes another shot from Under. And he popped away towards the right-hand side. Helix, he has daylight. He might extend this one. He does. And there's the equalizer.
Concord, wow, with a shocking play. ET, nice tap to Helix. Helix gets it past Zest. And Helix just has an open net. You gotta wonder, where was Weber at? They were so pushed up. They gave no respect to Concord, and it really crushed them on defense.
Yeah, I think I cast or cursed them in that situation, so my apologies. But I was commending them pretty much on the defensive end, and basically, you know, Weber, they were being so patient and just waiting for a lot of these shots from Concord, but they overextended just a tad bit, left the door open, and Helix saw daylight. So unfortunate, but the equalizer is there. Rivers trying to take the lead right back. Pancake with a save. Right back towards the blue half we go, though. Almost 60 seconds remaining here in game one.
Yeah, lots of attacks onto the net of Weber right now. Clears happening back and forth. Ping pong is going on, but I just want to see some control happening. And Rivers there controlling the ball well. It's on the sidewall. His teammate not pushed up mid enough. It's just going to end up getting thrown right to Helix, and back on the attack we see this great team.
Yeah, I think Rivers didn't really have a lot of boosts when he was stuck in the corner, and he didn't want to really overextend or maybe call some help in. Under was there. He was the closest one to the point of attack, but didn't really have a comfortable angle to kind of approach that situation. So don't really blame Weaver, but at the same time, if you don't really have boost, you got to kind of call somebody else into that situation. 20 seconds left. Rivers from the sidewall. Nice juke to the right side. Trying to hook up with Under. The net's open. Pancake in the upper 90. The denial. Looking at a possible overtime now. Final seconds ticking away. There goes Rivers. Still driving this one downfield. The second touch off the backboard. Zest is denied by ET. And this one's going to hit the ground. We see overtime in game one.
I really thought we would have seen the end of this in regulation. I mean, it definitely should have been a game win, but Helix looks to go up high with it. ET is there, and he's able to put it on. I can't believe it. Just off kickoff, we have a goal and a dub taken already. So quick is this ending for overtime.
Oh, that's such a heartbreaker. Zest was there to kind of, you know, pop that one away, but unfortunately just finds its way in, and off of the pass right there from Helix as well, just ultimately rolls in. Concord take game number one. ET walking away with the goal, and then Helix walking away with the goal as well. But I think, you know, Weber, they were just kind of pushed against the ropes there towards the tail end of this matchup, and, you know, Concord took advantage of it.
Yeah, unfortunately, it was kind of criminal the way Weber gave a lot of respect to Concord. There was no ego challenging. There was no just getting in their face. There was no boost stealing. Again, lots of respect being given to them, and they took full advantage. They only did win by one goal, but it does tell you, like, they knew when to take advantage. They knew when they had clear opportunities, and they just seized all of them.
I want to point out quickly, ET 6 saves in that first game. On top of that, you want to think back to that save right before the overtime. Pancake dove at the net heroically to get that final save as well right there for Concord. On top of that, on the flip side of the coin, you got Zest with 3 saves as well. So Weber, you know, they had this game, in my personal opinion. They had this game number one. They had a ton of pressure. They controlled the ball. They controlled the pace of play. They just have to find a way to get around the defenders of Concord.
Yeah, and it really, when we look at the defense on Concord's side, it was Pancake getting all those saves. It was ET. Everybody made a good effort on it. But again, what I want to see here in game two is I want to see physicality, and I want to see lots and lots of lot more shots. Really, we saw in total probably about 10 shots. I think we should see 20. I mean, the way the ball was just being thrown back and forth, you think it'd be thrown at the net. Speaking of, there's ET trying to be the one to put it on target first, but he can't get it.
Yeah, I wanted to see somebody there from Concord, maybe on the offensive end. ET had a great solo play, but somebody has to be there on that back post in case he misses it, in case he runs out of boost, whatever it may be, to put that shot right back in. Starting off with a goal early on would have been huge for Concord, especially after winning that game number 1 in OT the way that they did. So right back to the passiveness, I want to say, from both of these teams. But you know, this is the home stretch right here. Whoever wins this goes to the finals. So I understand why they're starting to play a little bit more passive in this situation. Huge save from Rivers. Helix with a great read.
We start to see some real finessing there by Concord. They're finding their rhythm. ET on the sidewall, taking it slow, gets bumped. Rivers is there though, to the backboard with a redirect. It's gonna get denied. Helix being the interceptor there.
Fortunate if you're a Concord fan. If not, then it's definitely what you don't want to see if you're a Weber fan. Back towards the back wall of the orange half we go. Under. Plenty of boost, trying to go for the ground pinch. Would be denied by Pancake, I believe. ET being patient. Rivers with the overtake. Have a little bit of an opportunity right here. Double touch. Oh. Nice pass down to Zest. Not going to find it smart. Helix snuffs that one out. Under towards the sidewall. Helix off the backboard. This is going to be easy save, but a demolition, I believe, onto the back end. Actually, nobody getting demoed. Just, I think somebody got bumped towards the other end of the field, whatever it may be. But still a slight window of opportunity. And Weaver does not take advantage of that one.
No, but we've seen a lot of athleticism, virtually anyway. When it comes to how Helix takes control of the ball, he definitely needs to be somebody they need to watch out for every time they go for shots, or sorry, every time they are on defense. It's really Helix from Concord leading the way on shot attempts, and I'd say it's definitely under if you're looking at the Weaver side. But either way, they're having all the space in the world still. Look at this center. Everybody's so far away from these centers.
Yeah.
And the fact that second man doesn't want to go in for the kill, doesn't want to go in for the shot is mind-blowing sometimes. Like, another great example there. Zest not in position to throw that in. I'm a little bit confused on what's happening on both sides.
Yeah, I think the supersonic legends of the teams, and that's Helix and ET over on the Concord side, and of course you got, like we said, Zest and Under on the Weaver side of the pitch. They're just kind of trying to go off with some solo plays, and it's not really been, they haven't really tried or tested really the team plays, the team chemistry just yet. We talked about going into this matchup, it's going to be whoever has the best team chemistry is going to pretty much win this matchup. And so far, we really haven't seen the team connecting plays just yet. We've just seen a couple of pop-off individual plays so far. So still 0-0, minute and 45 seconds left here in game 2. Weber, Concord still hunting for this first goal. A waterfall pass downwards. Good job by Under right there, recognizing that one was just lingering and pretty much just sets Pancake up for a goal, but pops it off to the right-hand side instead.
In this corner, Zest with the center. Rivers is up for it. He's going to get the shot, but everybody was in the net there. He couldn't get it on target. Zest with a good clear. ET is there. It's going to get cut off instantly by Under, who's waiting patiently for this. We see some control on the sidewall. We see some control, but it's unfortunately still not going to be on. And I just want to see something change for these teams. Helix, though, going for another solo play. Just not able to connect. And the funny thing, Whoops, is when we see these teams do connect, it's only on defense. When they go back to offense, it's like they both forget they have teammates.
No, I mean, honestly, I want to give credit to Weber there in that last possession when they were driving upfield. I believe it was Under who had the possession, and you saw Rivers on the back end of it trying to go for a bump. All three members, just like that play right there as it was trying to develop, all three members of Concord were on the left side of the pitch, and had Rivers got a bump onto anybody there in that situation, it probably would have been a goal in favor of Weber. But final 30 seconds, another shot being fired away. Weber going to keep their defense strong so far. Zest trying to get this one back towards the blue hat. Under does succeed in doing so. Helix, he's up in the air. Have to kind of keep your eye on him. Rivers with the challenge as well. It's a battle of the midfield possession pretty much at this part. Helix, go-ahead goal denied. Another last-second heroic effort from the defensive side. That one's going to hit the ground. We see game 2 overtime. So back-to-back overtimes. Does this one end early, Rocket Star?
I'm going to say no. Everybody wants to slow things down now. We're getting more serious, right, as games progress on. people don't want to just be throwing away these games. They want to have
Yeah.
a closer shot at things.
Double
Zesto
demo.
has a bit of space there. There's a double demo, opens things up, but still nothing on target. Still lots of singular plays. And there we go. We see a follow-up, but it's cut off, and somehow ET just gets a goal. Oh.
Yeah, ET just phoned the back of the net. He found it and drilled it. Zest just tried to come out of the net. All he had to do was sit there on the goal line, but the anxiousness just kind of took him away and tried to cut that play off early before it even presented itself. And ET took advantage of that, and it opened the door wide open for ET to score that one. So Concord once again pulling off some overtime heroics, getting the job done. Weber, they're in trouble. They're down 2-0 right now.
Yeah, if we break this down, though, things kind of were a little bit more even this go round. Shots were the exact same. Saves a little bit more towards Concord. They got 2 more saves than Weber was able to get. If Weber got just one more save, we would be in a longer overtime. But again, it just comes down to those little moments when you're taking 50s. It comes down to those moments where you're deciding whether you're going to play solo play or go for a team play. Like, they need to take the ball and touch it with intent. There's just a lot of non-intentional things going on the pitch. And I do agree. We were down a lot. And Concord's, I mean, they got 2 games already to their name. So I'm sure we're just going to start to see them really, really take off if Weber doesn't get in their face.
Yeah, I do agree with you on that one. You said that they're just touching the ball, essentially. They're not touching the ball with intent. You have to have some sort of setup play. You have to have some sort of second touch on the ball. You can't just bang it down the field and expect good things to happen from it, because it's going to be quickly gathered up, and it's going to, pretty much tarnish your offensive opportunity that you have to kind of score. I really do feel like if Weber have a chance to win this matchup, they need to have more presence on the offensive end. They need to just, take some more risks, because guess what? You lost 2 games so far. Yeah, there were overtimes, but you lost games when you should have taken some risks, and you didn't take those risks. You would have had yourself a goal. We would never be in that overtime situation. But let's hop into game number 3, see what happens over here on the pitch. ET, let's start things off in the corner. Zest, Pancake, gonna try his luck as well under. Not gonna find a good clear in that situation. Rivers does clear that one towards the right-hand side, though. Right back over towards the blue half. Pancake's gonna get that. And pretty much, leave it up to Helix. Why not go for another solo play? Four minutes and 10 here in this game number 3. Helix going right back to work. Good first touch. The second touch off of the ceiling as well. Saving that flip. 50-50 from around the corner as well from Rivers. And I do like what I'm starting to see right here from Weber. You're starting to see maybe the pass-off plays. They're trying to utilize the teammates a little bit more. Helix says, I don't need a team. I'm going to do this myself. And it's going to gather this one up, pop it off the sidewall, get one soft touch, and that's the control we were talking about. Have a purpose behind and have a thought process behind some of these offensive plays, and they'll lead to good success. But Concord starting things off in the lead here in game number 3. And this is exactly what we wanted to see from Weber, not from Concord. Concord pretty much has had the success this whole entire matchup. Under, a little bit battered and bruised. Helix still just staying with the play, and I'm so impressed by his just solo performance and his ability just to kind of keep possession of the ball. There goes under. It's demoed by Helix once again. ET, soft flick. Rivers, nobody home there on the defensive end as well. I think under recognized it, pushed up. Defense hustles back though from Concord. About 3 minutes remaining here in game number 3. Zest, I was going to say, has to try to play that one very slow, very patient. ET off the backboard, solid pass onto Pancake. Not going to find its mark though. Going to be cleared away over into the corner. There goes under as well. No boost. Net, a little bit open. Soft touch towards the midfield. Patience right now from Weber had to be spot on. The boost was lacking. They couldn't really do much with some of these plays. Helix Trying to test his luck once again. Denied by the defense so far. Only one goal. Can't really panic just yet if you're Weber. Pancake up in the air. Soft touch. No double. Helix still keeps the pressure on, though. And check the boost meters in the bottom right-hand corner. Slowly but surely, Concord's just draining those resources. Trying to open up the door for some opportunities on the offensive end. So Weber need to desperately get it clear here. As Helix once again goes to the sky. Second touch over to the left-hand side. Gonna be denied by Rivers, I believe. And Weber, they're in trouble. They desperately need a clear. On top of that, they need a goal to tie this game up. Maybe force an overtime. We haven't seen a goal from them since game number 1. Pancake, open net. Kind of. Zest was there just trying to put his hand up and does just enough. So far, Concord have just been in control of this game. Helix once again trying to pop off with a solo play. ET, Pancake, both of them up. This could lead to something, but Helix just so fast. Keeps himself relevant time and time again in a lot of these plays. Off the back wall, trying to go for a highlight, but just missing contact. Still ET there to put that one in. And this is the follow-up touches that we've been talking about. Concord just executed perfectly on that play. 2-0 now in their favor. Almost 60 seconds left. Good fake from Zest. Helix is in trouble. He has no boost. Zest, maybe a pass over towards the left side to Rivers. Not going to find its mark, though. Helix in the back wall. Rivers with the denial. Rivers now with a pinch right back towards midfield. Helix up in the air. Does he have the boost? He has a little bit. He's going to float off towards the left. Maybe leave it for one of his teammates as well. A 2-goal lead. Good shot. ET does keep that one at bay. Still 2-goal lead. I'm liking what I'm seeing right now from Concord. They're just slowly, patiently comfortable with this 2-goal lead, trying to keep Weber from scoring, maybe gaining some momentum. Final 12 seconds. Helix soft touch back towards midfield. Under has a chance at it. ET early challenge, taking away that opportunity. Everybody stuck in the corner. Helix gonna come to save the day, and he does have enough boost to kind of extend this one outwards. And there it is. It's gonna hit the ground, and Concord moving on to match point. And we expected this one to go the distance. We expected it to go to 7, but instead we're looking at a quick 4 and out. 1 goal for Helix, 1 goal for ET. And I tell you what, if Weber has any chance at a comeback right now, it's going to have to be on the back of Zest. He has to just play a little bit better. 68 points is not going to cut. Pretty much pushing past a very, very solid Concord team. So, going to be hopping into game number 4, potentially the last game, as we welcome Rocket Star back into the booth. Hello, welcome back. 3 saves on the back end. No offense since game number 1, I believe, or game 2, my apologies, since game number 2 for Weber. So unfortunate situation for Weber as Concord move on to match point, Rocket Star.
Isn't always the best experience for Rocket League, but I do apologize, everyone. Again, some technical difficulties, but some really great performance out there. I am hoping to see some being thrown around by everyone, but ET taking control in the corner, going for a double. He centers it, but it is insta cleared. And this offensive push coming right now, coming kind of strong. Yeah. I'm a bit worried there, though, for defense. Maybe a double, maybe a goal here. Once again, second man just not in the right position to score that.
Yeah, that's just unfortunate right there for ET. He was going to start things off on the offensive end, and he was looking good in that last game. Kind of putting his best foot forward, received a good pass as well from Helix. Still, nonetheless, that one falls to the wayside. Pancake now, great extension. Pancake gonna score. Concord find themselves up with Pancake. Long shot, a sniper shot that finds its way into the back of the net.
I like that. Teamwork to make the dream work. And, you know, they should call that man Donut. The way he be dunking, because
Hey,
that
yo.
was impressive. I like these kind of plays coming out of these teams right now.
Yeah, we just have to see some of these plays maybe in favor of Weber, though. Because so far, it has been the Concord show, and it has been pretty much Helix, like you talked about before, the front runner for Concord. That has been just an absolute terror with some of these solo plays that he's had, and we have to see Weber have a couple of plays of their own on the offensive end. This has been so unfortunate that they've, you know, I would say missed opportunities, because they have been missed opportunities. They strike here, and that's under one of the players I called out, basically, that needed to play better. He strikes and ties up the ball game.
Yeah, he's just trying to get his team back in this. I mean, Concord has 3 games. This is best of 7. If they lose here, it's over. It's done. Whoever won a chance, I mean, Weaver won a chance to come back in this. They really just need some kind of a dream. Under trying to make it work for them. That ground pinch definitely looked like it should have been completed, though. Looks like it should have been a goal. Unfortunate one right there.
I also said that Zest had to step up big time as well if Weber have a chance at making this comeback and, you know, potentially at least winning a game here in this series. I would love to see that happen. Wouldn't expect a sweep this late here in the semifinals. But this is Rocket League. We all know this, that anything can happen. Back towards the blue half we go. Double demolition. The defense non-existent on the pitch, and Weber can't take advantage of it.
I can't, but you know, it's definitely Concord's game. It feels like they want it more. It feels like they prepared more. Maybe Concord did a lot more workshop maps. We do say almost another good center there coming in hot. Defense is coming strong out of Weaver, but you can't just play defense, defense, defense. You need to be able to make your own plays and start your own run of things, because time is ticking. Like, we're almost halfway done with this. And, you know, they're only tied right now. I don't know how things will continue on in this series, but I'm a little bit worried for them. Just a little bit.
And it's do or die, essentially, as well. You know, match point is lingering, and you start to feel the pressure starting to be, you know, there for Weber. A couple of shots raining through, but once again, just missed opportunities from Weber, and they have to be able to capitalize on those when they drive the ball down the field towards the blue half. So, unfortunate opportunities. Under with a great extension off the back wall, going for a fake. Maybe if he would turn that one into a bump, and it works out. He gets credit for it. Rivers finalizes it, and basically the bump on the tail end of this play onto Helix solidifies that goal for Weber.
What an incredible personal win for yourself, right? Helix was out there really feeling himself, doing all these, you know, Michael Jordan type of solo plays. And Under said, you know what? I can do those too. Let me go ahead and score one real quick. In fact, let me bump last defender. Let me put this game in order for my team. Let me bring Weaver up for once. We see them in charge with this lead. I want to see them continue this. I want to see them pushing for this. I want to see their appetite fulfilled here. I want to see the hunger grow for them. I want them to take this. And no! We are now tied up again thanks to Pancake.
Yeah, that's just so unfortunate, but good job from Pancake right here to recognize that Helix was not going to be able to get that second touch on the ball. Zest, once again, just trying to guess as to where the ball was going to waterfall down into. And he was probably expecting Helix to kind of, you know, go for that double, go for that highlight play. But unfortunately, he just misses, maybe intentional, maybe accidental, whatever it may be. Still results in a goal for Concord to set this ball game up.
Have some elite mechanical motions happening there. A follow-up touch is missed though, and ET also can't get it on target. Concord trying to put themselves above Weaver. They're trying to do it very, very smart. Like you can see, every touch is being meticulously planned in the sidewall there. We see a 50 just not going their way, but pressure has really been the name of the game for Concord.
Yeah, we're starting to see a lot of fakes, a lot of pretty much, I was going to say, like you said, methodical touches essentially on the ball. Oh, what a shot right here from Zest. Helix has to hustle back, and he does. What a solo individual play. Might see ourselves a potential overtime here. 20 seconds left on the clock. Helix forced up under, takes it from under him, or from over him, I should say. My apologies. Still on the orange half, still a chance right here for Weber to maybe get this one done in regulation. Pancake has other plans. Helix as well. Both defenders up for Weber. Rivers, extension towards midfield. ET gonna pop that one backwards. I think we're gonna see this one hit the ground, and there it is. Another overtime to decide if Concord is gonna be moving on to the finals or if Weber is gonna be staying alive.
Weber wants it so bad now. Rivers with great control. He's looking for second man to complete this. Unfortunately, Helix has control. I'm scared for last man. And a good save coming out from Zest, but it is just possession thrown away. Now we see control with it being held by ET. He's looking for his teammates to push this along. See now it's Helix as last defender. It's just that battle of whoever's going to make the smallest mistake, it's going to get scored on. This is how close this entire series has been. It's just Concord's been able to edge out every single time. I want to see Weber have their opportunity too.
45 seconds into this matchup. Weber, I was going to say, a chance to do it in overtime. Pancake, just a perfect, oh my goodness, the triple commit on the offensive end. And what? Helix doesn't finish the job. I think he thought Pancake was going to do it, but I think Pancake thought that Helix was going to do it. So a big-time missed opportunity to get this series done. Concord would have had a sweep in that situation. But we're still here.
No, it's okay. Look, we don't want brooms to be pulled out during this series, okay? We want to go more games. Let's go. Rivers flying like a monarch in the sky, like a butterfly. Look at him go right to him and his teammate. We are going to see more games, and I'm excited for it.
Wow. Is all I have to say is wow. Hats off. Hats off to Weber for, you know, extending the series. 2 goals for under, 1 goal for Rivers. And I want to say, you know, good job on Zest. I know I called him out on the tail end of that game. He did step up big time. You know, he had like one mistake with that waterfall, but that was such a tough read. You can't really blame him in that situation. But he did step up with some huge individual plays that Helix was trying to, you know, pretty much go for and basically save them away. But walking away with 1 save here is Zest, 3 for Rivers. On the flip side of things, you got 4 from Helix, 3 from ET, and Pancake walking away with the only 2 goals. Should have been probably 3, maybe 1 for Helix as well. But we're not going to talk about that, Rockstar. We're not going to talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, just huge props though to Weber. They found it. They dug in deep and they found a way to come back. It took them 11 shots though. 11.
Hey, whatever gets the job done.
It took them 11 shots. So again, I think they need to use this time between the matches and just really say, okay, guys, let's take a moment. Let's look at our positioning, because second man not being there every single time is really holding them back. They're having some great plays, but there's nobody to complete them, and Concord has that.
I agree. I 100% agree with you. It's been something that Weber they've been struggling basically this whole entire time. They haven't had that second person there to kind of put that final punch onto the ball, and it's pretty much been lingering this whole entire series. And that's what's led to the success of Concord. Pancake, great job around the air. Good save from Zest as well. He had low boost in the tank, and he still somehow managed to pull that one off.
Still managed to pull it off, but it's only about what actually goes into the net that counts. And I can't believe we saw so many misses there, though. Good clear, though, for Concord. Keep things away from their net. They don't want to keep going. They want to just take this dub. And you can see everybody's firing on all cylinders. Look at the time they're taking to take these 50s to make sure they win them. They just don't want to continue on, and the shots continue to come out for Concord.
I mean, still though, right back to, I was going to say, some of the passiveness from Weber. As I say that, under kind of proves me wrong. Good takeaway right here from Helix. Into the corner we go. ET's up in the air. I don't really like that touch right there from ET. I really wanted to see him slow that one down, maybe just a tad bit, and maybe put a little bit more control and thought behind it. Instead, he just kind of bangs in, tries to get a wraparound pass, and 96% of the time, those are just easily readable, and you kind of just pop it out back towards the same wall. But regardless, here comes Weber, back towards midfield. Rivers bangs that one towards the opposite end. It's going to set up Helix. He goes to the air, off the ceiling. He gets bumped. Zest back. Zest with a soft touch. Helix with a soft touch right back towards it. ET trying to get the job done as well. He can't put it in. Huge defensive stance right there for Weber.
Huge moment squandered, and it should have been straight up a moment there for Concord to show, like, hey, like, we're the better team. But instead, Weber's defense has really outshone Concord again and again and again.
Yeah, but you have to watch out and you have to be careful though, because Concord's doing the exact same thing that they were doing back in the game 2, game 3, where there's allowing Weber to kind of waste the boost, waste some of the reserves that they have, and start to try to control the boost. A good shot from Rivers. That one's not going to find its way in. Under, he's still up in the air, trying to get the job. Helix did put a hand up on it and kind of popped it off the backboard. Off to the defensive side we go for Weber. A huge shot from Pancake. Going to be denied by Zest, though. That one's going to ricochet off the ceiling as well. Pancake, soft touch into the corner. We have two members right there, and Rivers just takes away the opportunity.
Weber continues to impress me with their defense. They remind me of Dikembe Mutombo, Rockets time frame. I mean, he's just all no over here, over there. And it's really frustrating if you're a Concord player trying to go against this defense. If you can't put something on, even every simple shot is just being instant denied. And I think all that mental game finally got to Concord. Weber able to find themselves ahead.
Yeah, and it's Rivers as well on the offensive end to score that one. We were talking about under, and we were talking about, pretty much the offense that Concord has had. We haven't really had a chance to call out Rivers' name, so he strikes first, and on top of that, gives Weber the lead early on. And I think this might be the first time I think that Weber has had the lead. I think maybe even thinking back to game number 1, that was the only time they actually scored that first goal. So hats off to them once again for fighting to stay alive. I want to point out that Zest has 4 saves already in this matchup, and he also has control of the ball. And try to pass that one back to under. Not going to work out. Helix, a little bit awkward. Rivers went for the 50. Not going to find its way. Pancake now. Going to try to test his luck. And under does keep them out and keep them at bay as well. Approaching the 60-second mark here, Rocket Star.
Yeah, time is ticking away, and Concord want to close this out. But Weber has really shown the passion, the drive to bring themselves back in this. They continue to turn the pressure on its heel, but they still can't get anything converted there. And we just now see it back in the hands of Concord.
Yeah, 40 seconds remaining. Battle of the midfield has commenced. This ball just volleys back and forth, and every team just tries to fight every single inch. But you have to watch to the boost meters, like I said before. Good musty coming from Zest as well, going for the flip reset. The Helix, he challenged that one early. Off the backboard, Helix, soft shot. ET, he's going to find another one to tie this ball game up. I cannot believe it has happened again. Concord are going to try to force overtime.
I mean, that's where they excel. They really, really do well with rice cooker situations. High pressure is their game. And Concord, I mean, if they continue to play their game, they might be able to just run away with this one. But you see 50s happening left and right. Weber making some good decisions here to keep Concord away from their net. Some control here by Zest. Some nice wall dashes happening as well, but we still end up going into overtime.
I think this is what, game 5 already at this point, and
Yeah.
I think 4 of them have been overtimes. Yeah, 4 of them have been overtimes at this point in time. First shot early on coming from ET, not going to find its mark. Gonna be saved away. Helix!
Oh!
Helix with the putback. He's gonna drill it, and that's it. Concord get it done in overtime again, and they move on to the finals.
Felix just took advantage of the scramble happening on the pitch. Everybody was trying to go for that ball, but nobody was able to save it because every member from Concord placed themselves so smartly. If you try to clear it left, they were there. If you try to clear it right, they were there. They were in every position you didn't want them to be in. And, it just ended up being a Concord win. They just played so much smarter, unfortunately, than we were. Everything that could have gone right for them in overtime happened for them.
It just reminds me of like a hard fought baseball game where you have just 2 phenomenal pitchers just going back and forth with almost like a no hitter essentially at this point in time, and then all of a sudden bases are loaded, you find yourself in the worst possible situation, and you have your star player just walk off and crack a grand slam, and that's exactly what Helix just did in that situation to push past this awesome Weber team. You gotta give credit to them. They fought, they stayed alive, they took 4 overtimes for Concord, and they played their absolute hearts out, but they just could not get it done on the offensive side, and that's what really restricted them and held them back.
Yeah, and I think one thing that we should have asked the players before we watched the gameplay is what MMR are the SSLs, because we might have had some high SSLs and some low and some mid. You never just know, but it did seem like there was a bit of speed difference in some of the SSLs, and that's probably what ended up edging things out. If I had Jeter on my team, I would hope that I'd win the baseball game. But I myself am very bad at hitting the ball, so I
Well,
wouldn't win
luckily,
with Jeter.
I was gonna say, luckily you don't have to be in that situation, but we do. We're gonna have Pancake, somebody who is on that winning team, essentially from Concord, with an interview after this break. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to ECAC Rocket League. My name is Whoopshoe, a Rocket Star joining me in the booth. And if you guys missed the action, you guys just missed an awesome series. Concord Esports knocking out Weber State to move on to the finals, and 4-1 victory for them. We have with us in the booth, though, our good friend Pancake from the winning team of Concord. Pancake, welcome in. Hi, how you doing? Congratulations.
Hey, glad to be here. I'm doing great, guys.
Love the shirt first and foremost. That's why I want to kind of say, representing Juice WRLD out here. Gotta love it. How are you feeling after this victory?
Well, other than the absolute devastation that was that overtime in Game 4, we're feeling
Which
really
overtime?
good.
I'm sorry, there was like 4 of them.
The one where we didn't score an open net.
What? Can you like walk us through what happened there? Because I was absolutely just like floored by that. It looked like you had the go-ahead goal, but you're trying to like give it to Helix, and Helix wanted to give it to you.
Yeah, so my brain pretty much just turned off. My teammate Helix told me, he was like, all you, because I got the outplay and wanted me to tap it in. I was like, and then I did nothing and didn't hit the ball, and he didn't hit it either because he thought he was leaving it for me, and then we just let it roll past the goal. So
And that's what it looked like. That's exactly what it looked like up here. Like it looked like maybe he thought the angle was there, and like he was calling you to like kind of finish it. It would have been awesome to kind of see that, but it was such a difficult angle, difficult shot for you that he should just chip that one in, and you guys would have won.
It was absolutely there for me. That was totally on me.
I'm gonna leave this up to Rocket.
Right.
You talk to him about this. This is ridiculous.
Pancake, I had some questions for you as well. Whenever we look at how y'all played on the pitch, Concord, like how many hours do y'all put into replay review and to training packs? Like y'all seem like you have a good regimen down.
We are all, I think we're all just, well, I shouldn't speak for myself, but my teammates are both grinders. Like Felix already has over 1,000 games of twos played this season, so they get the mix for just crazy grinding. Yeah.
I feel like this season just started too.
Yeah, it's been for a while.
I don't play often, I guess. Not for comp.
Yeah. They like to drop like a casual 1,000 twos games a month, something like that.
That's insane.
Wow.
That's insane amount of play time right there. But I mean, obviously it's paying off though, right? I mean, 2v2s is the best thing for a lot of higher up people. You know what I mean? It's like the most like, I guess, fast paced, and you have so much time with the ball as well. For those of you who don't know, or just casual players, a lot of pros play to the 2v2 format here in Rocket League because it's just such a faster pace and it sets the tempo essentially the whole time. But I mean, you kind of have to if you're pushing for that next level. You kind of have to. So, Pancake, I'm going to ask you the tough question. Rocket Star mentioned earlier, you guys won, last year ECAC. That's the hopes and dreams this year. Can you guys do it? And if so, double part question here. Who would you guys rather face here in the finals? Either Fisher or Wichita State?
Well, I think we would definitely rather face Wichita State, but we're prepared for Fisher. Anyone who knows esports knows that Fisher is inevitable.
Yeah, Fisher's just that team, man. They are definitely them right now.
So we're definitely thinking about that and doing what we can to get ready for a Fisher matchup, but it'd be awesome to play Wichita State.
All right. Rocket Star, any final words, final thoughts here for our good friend Pancake?
I just like the offensive pushes y'all did. So I just wanted to say, big ups to you guys on just, playing really, really consistent and really strong offense. And, I think you guys have to have really solid mentals because we were like, their defense was crazy.
Yeah. Hey, all or nothing. You got to attack. That's where the fun is in the game.
Yeah, and you guys stepped up big time too, man. Kudos to you. Kudos to the team. Congratulations and good luck, man, in the finals. It's going to be awesome. I'll definitely be watching and seeing who you guys are going to be taking on. And, hopefully you guys get to celebrate and hoist up that virtual trophy, I guess you could kind of say right now, man. Any final thoughts? Any final words from you, man? Any shout outs?
Man, shout out Concord. Shout out my grandparents who are watching the stream. I love you guys so much.
Hi, grandparents. Thank you for supporting.
Go Concord. Thanks for the interview, guys.
Yeah, no problem, man. Have a good day. Good luck, like I said to you beforehand. Love the shirt, and thank you to all the parents out there supporting. So, Rocket Star, that's it for us. I mean, that was a heck of a series on our hands. Concord pushed through. Do you think they have what it takes to push past that solid Fisher team? Everybody kind of has them circled on the calendar.
Yeah, Fisher's yeah, that's a whole nother team to have to try to face. I mean, really, at the end of the day, I think Concord, if they can make sure that second man, like somebody's just always in second man position, ready to go, I think they may stand a chance against Fisher. But speaking of Fisher, we actually get to see next here on this stream. Tell us more about that. Whoops.
Yeah, it's going to be ECAC Overwatch, and that's the semifinals for them as well. And if I was a betting man, I'd probably pick Fisher in this matchup for whatever reason. But Fisher College Freaks versus Fisher College Fiends. And that's going to be Tugboat and Nerdy Bird taking on that action for you guys. So some awesome top 10 action for some Overwatch. Catch Tugboat and Nerdy Bird right here after this stream. Do not go anywhere. But shout out to Rocket Star. Shout out to our producer as well, Prof. We appreciate you so much making us look good, sound good, and feel good. Follow Rocket Star on Twitter or X, whatever you guys call it nowadays. And follow me as well. We appreciate you guys so very, very much. We'll hope to see you guys in the future.
Hello and welcome, Overwatch fans. We are here and we are live. Little Overwatch 2 action on Esports U. This is Elite Division. We are looking at some semifinals. I'm FBI Tugboat. I'm here with Nerdy Bird. Nerdy, how are we feeling on the day?
I'm feeling pretty good, a little sleepy even though the sun's still out because the seasons are changing. It's weird. But besides that, I'm excited to watch some fabulous Overwatch gameplay in what could be a strenuously long series, even in comparison to the Rocket League match that just went down, because it's a best of 7 between Fisher Fiends and Fisher Freaks. Yeah.
Yes, the freaks and the fiends doing battle here on the virtual battlefield here within Overwatch 2. Yes, both of these teams looking pretty fine throughout the regular season, Nerdy, finishing out with the exact same actual overall win-loss when you're talking about matches, as well as when you're talking about maps. Both of these teams 3-0'd everybody through the regular season, and both of them took an unfortunate forfeit loss. Obviously, the players here on both teams, collegiate students and one way, shape, or form, right? They're pursuing their higher education. Sometimes there are simply higher and more important priorities.
Yes, grades definitely need to come first, and also if you're sick, it's best not to try and play video games while sick because you should be focusing on your health. Work-life balance is important, even though most of us here in production have zero of it. With that being said, our first map is going to be Lijiang Tower. What are your thoughts on it as we boot into, it looks like, Garden?
Yes, here initially, taking a look at a couple of these tank lineups. I'm not sure if we'll see this all the way through. A little Doomfist action here for Freaks. Fine, looking down the barrel of a Winston here. I think both of these are going to go for plays out middle. Yeah, a start art. Finally. There first, though. Down across, they, of course, have a lot of forward pressure, but that Doomfist and everybody on the Freaks give that monkey the attention that it was looking for. Not gonna like it. A couple more kills afterwards. John Smith now down as well for the Freaks against the Fiends.
It's Tracer against the Echo. Echo dangerously low, pulls out the beam, ends up getting eliminated. Love pushing too far forward, will find the end of a Tesla cannon from Winston. Aviani as well. They overstayed their welcome, taking the space. They did get the cap, but it's going to be quickly flipped over. Tracer's recall has been forced out from the Fiends. Now we got Winston pressing onwards, trying to get Skier, but has to disengage instead and get healed up from their Lucio and their Kiriko. Moira now pushing forward, undeterred, uses the fade. That's a trap opportunity. Still, though, I was thinking Freaks were going to lose sight. They have yet to lose it over to the Fiends.
Yes, they have. This has been one long, elongated team fight so far. John Smith falling first, and both of these now get us down as well. A back and forth we go. Something tells me these are very similar teams playing for the same college. Who'd have guessed it? University, I should say. Excuse me.
There was a trickle onto point as long as possible, but if Avian falls here with the pulse bomb on them, it could be the end of the attempted retake here for the Freaks. It is not. Instead, we're going to use Coalescence for Skier, choosing to do damage over trying to heal up the tank and leaving that to the other support. Ends up working out. Avian will find the punch, eliminate one, and on the slam finds another. Tracer trying to get a foothold onto point for just a little bit longer, along with Kiriko. I don't believe either one will get it, as we also lose Echo for the Fiends. Point is swapped back over in favor of the Freaks.
Yeah, for the first time, an actual real team fight win. Who'd have guessed it? Are we playing Freaks versus Fiends or not here, guys? Avani getting super deep right now. They have kept their team alive through the litany, the entirety of that first team fight, Nerdy.
We're also going to be coming up on Primal Rage, Kitsune Rush, as well as this copy for the Fiends. The follow-up response will most likely be both this beat as well as Love with this overclock, unless they try to catch people in rotation. We also have the Meteor Strike. There's the Kitsune Rush done to try and clear out the archway. In response, Meteor Strike, beat is not used as unread, unfortunately will pass away early. Love also goes down, so that's a lot of ults in response to one rush, and very little sustainability coming in favor of the Freaks as they lose Skier now. Lucio back in, finds the beat, but they need to get these players cleaned up fast before those overshields are gone, and unfortunately Avian already eliminated.
Yeah, Unread dropping that sound barrier at the very, very last was just trying to keep their main support alive, trying to keep Skier alive right there. Once main support goes down, the writing is on the wall a little bit, and you mentioned it, Nerdy Bird. Unread, Avani, Love, everybody dropping a lot of ultimates for not really a whole lot of value.
We have Winston coming in with the Primal Rage. We'll find Love. Lost number did end up falling down to the Moira in response. The 1v1 trade, though, I think definitely still favors this side of the Fisher Fiends. As I mentioned, that the Caster Curse comes in. Echo is going to be eliminated. Atlas is looking for an opportunity to use his Pulse Bomb, has Recall forced out. There's another beat coming out from John Smith, as well as the Coalescence from Skier in response. No one is spawned just yet, but Lost Number can't use Pulse, gets eliminated instead. Fisher Fiends still in control at this point, 62% and counting.
I love what the Fiends have done to just sit on to this point. If you're going to die, might as well do it on point, take a little bit extra, and they have purchased themselves a little bit of wiggle room now. Nerdy, this should be at least one more team fight, with Love taking themselves out first. Avant, what just happened?
I think there was a miscalculation on trying to jump or hit somebody, and we lose Skier thereafter. So point is going to flop over to the Fiends, I believe, and they do get it back in their favor. 2% is all the Freaks need at this point in order to get this round win. Unfortunately, they lose their Tracer early, and we have Love swapping over to the Sombra. It's just going to make sure this Mega Pack is hacked so that these returns have a little more sustainability. Pulse Bomb is going to be expelled. We still have Copy from Geist coming in as Skier falls. We also lose Winston for the Freaks, but in response, we're using Copy onto Doomfist to get an extra tank for a few moments. Recall used, Doomfist is low, Avian is eliminated. Riku will come back with this Kitsune Rush, which could help the Freaks sustain on point, as Atlas gets a touch on and distract Lucio, but Lucio knows their job and runs away after doing a little tickle damage, but John Smith does end up falling.
Yeah, the Lucio's just having an absolute bear of a time trying to stay alive through this. Atlas has not stopped dumping rounds after these dual pistols in quite a while. Sindrillion just trying to keep the dream alive right now. Unfortunately, that's the last little bit. Avani going headhunting and finds it. John Smith falls again. Again, Lucio's cannot keep dream alive.
I think it was a miscalculation regarding the rollout, and with that, it's 100 to 99. Freaks will end up taking it on Garden. Now, it could be Night Market, it could be Control Center. I don't know if we'll stick with the Doomfist if we go to Control Center. Yes, it can work, but I mean, you go Junkrat or maybe even Sombra, it can kind of eviscerate a Doomfist. And it looks like we're going to be going over to Night Market instead, and I don't know if we stick with the Winston, but Geist is actually swapping it up to the Cassidy, and Avian in response, considering there was just a little bit of concerns happening on the Doomfist, is actually going to go Roadhog. So I'm curious, will the Fisher Fiends opt to swap over the Lucio in favor of the Ana, or will we stick with the Kiriko Lucio? Because I know Kiriko Ana can be pretty powerful against a Roadhog.
Yeah, and between the amount of damage, the anti-healing, and any answer, if they run anti on their own side, now Fisher Freaks going over almost entirely towards this like super pick comp. The entire idea for the Freaks is go forth, take one player down, make the job much easier for themselves and the rest of the team fight. Nice shot!
Riku gets turned into pulled pork, and then we quickly lose Winston thereafter, and John Smith falls as well. So that's going to be, hopefully we remember to cap the point a little sooner this time. Yes, the Fisher Freaks are rotating into point. Unred gets dangerously low. The Echo Focus Beam comes out. Unred is gone. Geist is eliminated in response, so it's a null and void elimination. You got the trade on the Lucio, but we don't have the speed for your horse to get through at this point. John Smith is there. The Kitsune Rush also comes, well, the Suzu comes out to protect our Orisa. Roadhog gets dangerously low, but is not going to be eliminated. We're taking angles instead. The Sombra takes attention. Lucio takes attention next, so that Roadhog is healthy once again.
Yeah, I was wondering how long it would take before the Orisa comes out. Sindrillion playing the tank that is in hands down the best position as of right now. Getting super, super deep, and why not? You only have 2 supports on you really as of right now. Realizing, hey, even that's deep for me. Sindrillion goes down. Team's in a terrible spot.
Aviani goes down shortly thereafter, so both tanks have been traded out. Riku falls, Geist also falls thereafter. We're at 40%, and roughly at this point, if a team has this much on site, it is the round win is heavily favoring that squad. We're coming up on a lot of ultimates, and Skier is trying to see if they can get their ult charge just a little bit more. One good place, this purple or good place yellow orb, we have that Moira Coalescence, but Atlas looking for an opportunity to use this Pulse Bomb, gets scouted out instead. Finally, we have Kitsune Rush from Riku come through. The response is going to be that Coalescence from Skier that we saw them trying to get up online. No one has fallen just yet, but Love gets really low. Same with Riku.
Wise decision, just let him pull the Kitsune Rush. You guys can have it. We'll wait a couple of seconds. Patience being a virtue, Nerdy.
Sindrillion, unfortunately, was not tracking the other ultimates coming out from the Freaks and got caught in the EMP, and with the nullification of abilities for 3 seconds, the response, Roadhog ultimate is going to throw the Lucio off the map. Cannot wall ride the freedom. We're going to turn Riku into pulled pork. Oh, that was a little painful, but Roadhog does what Roadhog does as we're coming in. Geist gets eliminated early. The Fisher Fiends are struggling, coming forward too soon without the rest of their squad, without their tank to take the damage, and they're losing teammates before our team fight can even occur. They hear the hack, they turn around, it's going to be Love Gone, but the price paid is Riku getting eliminated.
Nice spin, the Terror Surge coming in, and immediately John Smith answering with a sound barrier just in the nick of time. Freak's really trying a whole lot of different things. It's paying off in these elongated team fights, Nerdy Bird.
Echo on the flank goes in, gets the copy off, but I'm not sure if it's going to work out in Geist's favor. We lose Atlas for the Fisher Freaks, but there's a coalescence shortly thereafter, chasing after these two people in the back of the map, trying to get this Echo out of the sky. Lucio is also there as well, almost gets the boop onto Skier. Skier uses that fade to Sudane, but the focus beam will find Skier. And we've got the Maga swap coming in. Will the almost unkillable tank from the previous patch be enough as Kitsune Rush comes through as well? Possibly a little over expenditure for the Fisher Fiends to try and get a foothold on this point. But I always love me some Maga. It's just typically I see Maga with a Baptiste.
Yeah, 100%. Between the boosted heals, the medium range capabilities via damage, and the mortality field, of course. Lost has really just been spending this entire time just trying to find a way in edgewise so far. I love the malleability from the Fiends. Most of those coming up from the Freaks earlier. We'll see how they are able to work it.
John Smith falls, Unread falls, unfortunately Lost Numbered will end up getting hooked by Avani. Sindrillian is going in, but gets EMP'd, is forced to disengage. But the good thing about that is that if Sindrillian can get Cage Fight online fast, considering how quickly Love is managing to get these EMPs, we could avoid the Cage Fight getting EMP'd and perhaps see a huge pulse bomb or just a team wipe or some juicy targets that get turned into barbecue.
That is something we really have not seen thus far. Granted, you're kind of low on targets here for Lost and for Atlas, but we need some more of these 6. These are, yes, they are basically cooldowns, and yes, they have to come forth and result in kills more often.
Well, we heard the Cage Fight go off. Riku will pick up 2. Unfortunately, Geist did fall to Love, who is just dealing with the off angle. It does also take that Sombra out of play for a little bit, so it's worth the distraction for your health pool. We managed to dodge the Roadhog hook. Tracer, it's Lost and Numbered, still has his pulse bomb. Recall's forced out. There's the Kitsune Rush. It's an opportunity to go in and wreak havoc, especially for Centurion, considering the reload speed reduction. They chase down Love like there's a bounty hunter on their head. Lost Numbered is going to be eliminated. Geist quickly falls. The Fiends are hitting the ground one by one, and John Smith comes in with the beat drop a little bit too late. Kiriko is going to get hooked, uses Suzu to sustain, but Avani now getting dangerously low.
Oh, yeah. The kid was on double digits for quite a while, which is basically on 1 for hero like Roadhog. Back and forth we go. This map was shaping up to be a little more one-sided towards the Freaks. We get another 99 to 100 regardless, however it's going. John Smith taken out by their counterpart right now. Gets Sis with 1 and 2, and the Fiends have done it to bring it back in Lijiang Tower.
All right, we're going to Control Center, and I actually anticipate Avani staying on this Roadhog, and then in return, or, possibly, I could see a horse v horse bringing out, battle cattle, so to speak, on this map, but Avani was obviously a terror on Roadhog, instead is going to swap over to the Orisa. I don't know.
I'm not against the Ramatra as well. Like in this inner area, this can get so brawly. You throw an actual Torbjorn that's like supported through here, and then as long as Lost can continue to do what they do with getting into edge damage, Tracer or the Cassie, it doesn't matter to me. Fiends, excuse me. I think this is a. Well, it really depends on what Atlas goes after the teleporter, right?
There we go. We've got the Reaper coming in through for the Fiends. They're choosing not to go with the teleporter in this instance, so that is going to allow Avani and company to push up and claim a lot of necessary space for their composition in particular. We see the fortification is going to be forced out, but it's more surround and poke and prod composition for the Fisher Freaks, as opposed to the Fiends, where they need to really rely on the sine wave they create with Ramatra going into Neb in conjunction with that Lucio speed boost. But in doing so, they're exposing the entirety of the back line of their squad. So far, though, goes unpunished, but Sindrillian getting delivered by a spear spin into the squad of the Fisher Freaks. That is their first elimination.
That's the only problem with this Fiends composition right now, right? That there's like literally nothing, nobody to go around and provide any appeal for your supports as well. Yes, it's a nice like rounded area on the inside for John Smith to wall ride on. Yes, Ruka has their step as well, but Atlas has just been doing a fantastic job. They're coming up on their second sticky bomb already.
Ram Rush without the opportunity to have someone on a consistent off angle that has a get out of jail free card, i.e., you know, Cassidy roll, or I mean, I guess you can save your overclock as Roadhog to try and, well, overdrive as Torbjorn to try and get out of the way, but the issue is that you rely so heavily on your core, and if you leave the rest of your team exposed like it's supposed to, the spam from the Freaks is just going to unfortunately send you to the Shadow Realm. As we have Tracer going for a risky duel, is able to use recall and get back over onto the platform instead. We've got Coalescence coming online in favor of the Freaks as well as B. This is an opportunity to start getting very bold with our positioning, force out this Nemesis form early, disengage, and come back with the Coalescence. Yep. There it is. We're going to use it to sustain one teammate. Losty numbered is going to get eliminated. John Schmidt thereafter. Geist is going to manage to escape for a moment, but goes down. That's a full team wipe at the Fiends.
That's going to be the first team kill, Bell, that we have gotten of this competition so far, Nerdy Bird. The problem that the Fiends were doing is they just allowed the Freaks to hold this for an extra 10 seconds or so and build up every ultimate there to it. Now, here comes the overclock. Let's see what Love can do.
Well, we have B in response. I'm looking... The issue here is, guys, everyone is gone once again. Ruka is the only one to find an elimination for the Fiends, so no, not another team kill, but if we don't get in perfectly here, we're gonna be in trouble. We've got 15 seconds to touch. Atlas almost has ult if the Fisher Freaks can buy time, but we're using Molten Core Coalescence to get in. Hopefully we don't have to use any other ultimates beyond this, otherwise the next fight will flip in favor of the Freaks, but this should be the Fiends capping this one. Guys, lost numbered, picking up a couple kills each of them. Guys gets dangerously low, maybe getting a little overzealous, trying to find the final elimination onto somebody, but finally they'll get to claim this doorway, which is in their favor so long as they play off cooldowns, but the Lucio speed is picking up and corralling their squad, bringing them past that choke point, and so now this is Freaks Alley. They can do whatever they want in this area, and that's not what you want if you're the Fiends.
Comes, finds nothing there from changing the time. 20% or so is going to be the Fiends' reward thus far. Attempted stick does not land. Ruka, Love both finished out, so a 4-4 for right now, Nerdy.
Atlas might quickly turn this into a 4v3. The Ramatra gets dangerously low, trying to put arms up in the way to sustain to get the beat online. The beat does go off, but no one is currently touching for the Fiends. No, I'm lying. There is one person there. It is Torbjorn who has Atlas in their sights, and in response, Avani is going to come in through and get that elimination. I don't believe we'll see anyone from the Fiends get another touch on this site. We will not, and that is the Fisher Freaks taking Lijiang Tower.
Yeah, this last map being far and away the most one-sided of these. 199 for the Freaks in round 1, 199 for the Fiends in round 2. And the Freaks really just put it into overdrive here to take Lijiang Tower, take a mild lead in this best of 7 series.
You're right, it is a mild lead. So, I want to talk about just a little bit of the creativity that we got to see here. Did you anticipate in any way, shape, or form that we would go from Doomfist to Roadhog?
Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. Risa has just been so strong. The Battle Cattle, as you mentioned earlier, it is a stampede once the composition around them can get rolling. And we've seen a lot of it, right? A lot of it has been the Tracer Sojourn so far supported either Kiriko, Lucio, or Lucio Moira. It is a pretty stamped composition thus far. I am genuinely surprised that we had to wait, 2 maps basically to get to it, right?
Yeah, I hope that during our next map, which is going to be hybrid, and the Fiends will be the ones to be able to pick that we don't stay on the same comp for too long, because as much as I adore Ram Rush, as many people know, I love Lucio, and Lucio in conjunction with Ramatra, and just, well-placed Vortex in conjunction with Amp Speed and going into Nemesis, it's beautiful. But you cannot do that into Spam. That is a horse that is just going to deliver you into their backline via a spear spin. And honestly, a lot of times, like, I see a horse, especially now in the way that Orisa is currently gifted with being very dominant, it's like, just go horse v horse. And I just really think it was staying on that pseudo Ram Rush too long that ended up being the Achilles heel in this instance. So I hope when we move on to hybrid, which I also hope is not King's Row, we see a little bit more adaptability like we saw during map 2, because that adaptability witnessed on both sides was phenomenal.
Yes, yes. The malleability to play a map that has been out since the origins of Overwatch 1, right? But to really meld it to your own and play whatever composition you wanted to, right? The Ram Rush Annihilation's a fantastic ultimate, but it just stands to reason that Orisa's in such a good position as of right now, right? Like, if you really look at what all these tanks do best, like obviously Diva is kind of in her own category with what she does. Zarya kind of the same story, but any kind of shield tank, for example, right? Why wouldn't you just put a javelin spinning, fortifying Orisa up in front of that? But regardless, I do believe we have confirmation on our next map, Nerdy.
Yes, we're going to Eichenwald, and theoretically we could have the horse make a reoccurrence here, but I have also seen a lot more people favoring the Sigma. I think Sigma, especially during the second portion of this map, is very powerful. If your team does not position properly and you get run over on point 1, the only thing that really I think struggles for defensive squads in this instance is what I'm referring to get a foothold and stop the payload during the second phase of during the first official push phase before we get into the castle itself is when they stagger too much to try and get back to the first point or get to high ground. So long as we avoid the staggers, I do think we'll most likely be seeing a Sigma. There is a rare instance where I've seen people playing Zarya on this map. It's not a bad pick by any means, but it really relies on understanding your team's cooldowns. And as I was mentioning what tanks we could theoretically see, we are going to have the Sigma mirror matchup. Now, our flex DPS coming out from both these teams are going to be having issues, is the best way I can put it. Because, I mean, Junkrat, you are the target of the century in this composition. Alari has movement, Baptiste has movement, Sojourn does. So guys, I hope you're cooking, and I hope you're cooking something good, not something that's going to end up being burnt, as we are meeting Syndrillian, Evani at the front entrance archway. Syndrillian's going to try and wrap around, go do a little poke damage, gets his shield up, trying to avoid getting booped and flailed by the Brig too early. Unfortunately, cuts themselves off, manages to get out alive because Geist found love, so the fall damage was not there to find the elimination on Syndrillian.
There you go, now getting up close personal with it. Geist actually decides better of it, but the Fisher Fiends have found a way to edge their way in on both sides right now. A barrel shotgun coming right now at them here. This is pretty close to first tick as well. The offense have done exactly what they needed to. Baptiste has popped off. Everybody is, they took this completely bloodlessly, right? It was just eliminations against the Freaks.
I like the composition we have from the Fisher Fiends, but it also is very heavily reliant on your supports having their heads on a swivel and you communicating to your supports when you need healing, because obviously this support combo favors the opportunities to do excessive damage, and that is where they excel at, the supportal combat, in the words of a different caster that we both know very well. So this is just damage on damage on damage. It is a spam composition, and the issue with the Fisher Freaks currently is that their Sombra has been eliminated multiple times, but as I'm bringing it up, Sombra sneaks in, gets the hack, finds the elimination on not but 1, but 2, and then Unred comes in to help clean up. Ruka's immortality is going to fall as well. The rock does not land. We have an awkwardly placed amplification matrix, and it works out for Skier. They do find John Smith, and Ruka shortly thereafter will fall as well.
Yeah, so managed to bring this one back after just finally getting together, and perhaps this is going to be kind of delve down to the Brigitte difference right here. A little bit of an extra shield forces their way on through, and Syndrillian just gets absolutely swarmed and taken out. Yes, that was a bold move, courageous action.
It got information, in the words of my butt, who would be, as we have the Captive Gravitic Flux from Atlas. Doesn't quite work out. They will use the Focus Beam and find 1. Lost Numbered is going after this Baptiste. We do have Slide as well as the Disruption Orb coming online. Uses 1. Baptiste is just hopping over these walls, trying to get out of line of sight and sustain, but now we're in a BAP 1v1. I wouldn't respect this BAP 1v1. I'd be going in and helping out my Baptiste as best as I physically could, just like that. But unfortunately, because our BAP was distracted, taking care of someone and it was not communicated, John Smith and Syndrillian have both been eliminated. This is what I'm talking about. You gotta be careful when you have damage-heavy supports.
Very true. Very, very true. This is a Fiend squad that is like super mid-range as well. The Freaks more so like rounding the bend as far as like they want more well-rounded individual characters. Love and Atlas, of course, really going to be pushing over to the edges and whatnot, are continuing to do so once the Fiends get rolling. Here we go with Lost, and Julian takes down their counterpart as well. The Overclock looking to sing a little bit louder, but Love has got their number. Back and forth we go as Unread now popping their ultimate. Big Rig Shield taken down bottom. Nicely done. Alari harnessing the sun on this one, but the Fiends still going to lose their main support.
Okay, so we ended up having Overclock popped, and then it quickly taken care of. The response was Unread popping the rally. Makes sense, but then Captive Sun came out and gave everyone's very bad sunburns. And unfortunately, we have someone not checking their angles and respecting Love on the Sombra. Gonna come in, get a decent amount of damage through, make their heroic exit. 90% currently on Pulse Bomb for Atlas, who has swapped over from the Echo over to the Tracer to be a menace once again. I respect the Tracer players, they scare me. But unfortunately, Geist is gonna fall victim over to Love on Sombra, just able to get damage out very quickly because we have a lack of spam for the Fisher Fiends currently. They're not checking their angles, and so Love is just able to do whatever the heck Love wants.
Yes. They the hard ones for the hard ones. And so far, Love has been getting all of it. Taking it to up top for right now, 85% to EMP as well. And these Tracers are gonna, this opposing Tracer, I should say, is gonna be well warned not to go after this one. Guess this got nada, zilch, 0 on the previous. Now looking for a little bit of something. Look at a couple of seconds left on this tire, and still not gonna be able to get anything. Brutal looks for the Junkrat pick. We were scratching our heads earlier, and it has not really paid off since, Nerdy Bird.
I mean, the first point it did, but at this point, again, we're looking at a situation where we're staying on a comp that really should get swapped up in favor of something that can do some spy checking. I mean, we saw a Torb earlier. Why not just go back to the Torb? Yes, it's not the greatest thing in the world on attack for this map, but it will help you out with the Sombra a little bit, as well as the Tracer. It can be a deterrent, and yeah, you get a little bored. I'm sorry, but, you know, welcome to the life of playing some heroes in Overwatch. Instead, in response, we're actually swapping over. It's going to be the Cassidy coming out instead. Ooh, a nice combo coming from the DPS onto Alice, but then, of course, the Gravitic Flux is initiated in response. There's immediate EMP to take that one out of the cards. John Smith is going to fall. Riku still has this window, but we can't find an opportunity to do it as Brig hits the round. He's going to go pushing with their team forward. The hinder lands onto Love, so thankfully, the opportunity to translocate out is not given over. But Tracer will come through with a quick whack onto Geist and eliminate the Cassidy.
Yeah, guys actually getting, like, biting up a little bit more off that they could chew right there. They took out one DPS and, like, you know, cue the Wild West music. This town ain't big enough for the both of us. Tries to go for the second one, not gonna find it.
Avani just played touch the spawn door challenge.
Yeah, right, like, have we really had, like, any downtime in this matchup so far? Like, perhaps these two teams are kind of like intentionally doing this just to see how long they can actually fight, right? Like, there's not outside of team kill bells, I don't think there's been anything longer than like 10 seconds of downtime here. Finally, Eichenwald maybe showing a little bit of difference between these two teams, Nerdy Bird.
0 to 1, switching sides.
Speaking, I've spoke with some tank players in the collegiate space from multiple schools, not just the school I went to, everyone, who for some reason have a huge aversion to Eichenwald. I love Eichenwald personally, and it is literally because of what we just saw. It is that second point. People struggle to get out there. They struggle to find the opportunity to push their way through and get into that castle and take over the high ground. And I think it really boiled down to the fact that because the DPS were able to push so far forward from the Fisher Freaks in that instance, like after elimination, after point was almost 99, they took it on themselves to create space without going into the space that now was claimed by the offensive squad. And when you do that, it makes it harder for the early rotates in the castle, for those people to lurk forward a little bit more and try to pick up the staggers. And it worked out smoothly for the Freaks. It's just, again, I think the Fiends stuck on the wrong comp for too gosh darn long, because we saw as soon as they made the swaps over, they started making progress. They started getting eliminations, but it was too little too late. You cannot stay on a broken comp for the entirety of a map and pray that it just ends up working, because guess what? You'll get one fight where it works, and that's because you've spent the last 3 building your ults because you're dying.
And especially given that they just kind of stacked ultimates at a certain point, these are the types of losses that an opposing team will take when you dedicate, you know, a trio of ultimates, even sometimes two, just depending who they are. Little pharmacy action coming in. Alert CVS, alert Walgreens, and sponsorship in here. Let's see how this one goes for the Freaks, because really over on the Fiends, I mean, they have Lifeweaver, they have this Sojourn. Avalari, of course, as well, but there really isn't a whole lot of range to take out this pharmacy combination. That's going to be the first take down here, as Guess is also going to be like a really like immobile character and something that might continue to fall between the Love and Skier combination.
And instead, we're actually going to swap off the Junkrat to the Widowmaker in response. I like the hit scan swap because Junkrat, I mean, even earlier going into the Echo, I was concerned for your safety, and the concern was warranted. Now we're on the hunt for this Widowmaker. It is spider killing season, and unfortunately, Widow does fall as I'm talking about it to Atlas. Atlas now has their next target in their sights. It looks as though it is going to be the Alari, but can't quite finish out that elimination. Riku also on this Lightweaver provides like the equivalence of an immortality field with the grip. So you have a get out of jail free card, but unfortunately for Echo here, it does not work out. Guys is immediately eliminated.
Team playing a much more split composition as well and facing damage from all sides right here. Keeping the Sigma alive by themselves is much easier said than done. Sigma on Sigma, Centralia getting super low. There's one save medal, not going to happen for the second. Ruka abandoning that one once all hope is lost. I believe the offense got it done.
It is an Echo versus Pharah versus a Mercy, and this is what I love to see from Mercy players, which is the Echo Pharah duel does, in at least in my opinion and experience, favor the Pharah significantly more. Well, favor the Echo, but if the Mercy is willing to just get off the beam and use the blaster to finish off that Echo taking the off angle, it's beautiful to see. It's a little bit scary, but this Mercy is actually now going to go spawn camp, takes down the Echo, is not worrying about their team, says, I've got my line of sight onto this Lightweaver, forces out the tree. Are we going to end up finding one more elimination, or are you getting two big fear bitches and you have to run away? The answer is yes, but at least you make it out alive. In response, we have the Gravitic Flux come online. One will go up and one will fall, and shortly thereafter, Love uses that Rocket Barrage, picks up another elimination. Now it's just Echo in the sky, who's been staggered a lot. This Echo needs to play back a little bit more, be a little more cautious, because they got picked off in their spawn rotation, which was tragic. Someone should have noticed there was a Mercy coming in.
Mercy take, dude. The battle Mercy continues. There is not a mountain which Skier cannot climb.
We also have Love swapping over to the Mei. We're going to give Atlas the equivalency of an operator by proccing the amplification matrix. We see Capture Sun used in response, and Atlas falls, but there was no one on the cart. It was C9, and the Fisher Freaks take map number 2.
So there's going to be a 1-0 lead within the Icon after opening up first point and then not getting over to second, but a 2-0 lead for the Freaks in this best of 7. Remember, folks, this is the Elite Semifinals playoffs here. Single elimination. Winner of this match will go on to punch their ticket to play against the winner, Illinois Wesleyan Titans and FIU. That's the Panthers. Now, Illinois Wesleyan has not dropped a match, has not dropped a single map so far. So ultimately, I'm not very jealous of the winner of either of the winners of this matchup here, either Fisher squad, until you start talking about the position, right? The number one position here goes on, punches their ticket to the CECC, little esports action down there in Texas.
They do, and as you mentioned, the squads are undefeated, but both these teams are also undefeated, and obviously neither one has played perfectly. We've had maps go back and forth. Yes, ultimately the scoreline is heavily favoring the Fisher Freaks, but in that instance, I also will argue that, again, it's not like they're not getting eliminated. It's not as though they didn't drop a map, at least sub-map earlier. So with that in mind, the gods do bleed, and just because someone has a perfect record doesn't imply that they are the perfect squad.
A very good point. Submap. I've always wondered how to categorize the 3 different geographical, locations that do battle there on the various control maps. I think I like submap the best there, Nerdy Bird. Given that there was, again, 199, one way or the other right there. It was a control map, Lijiang Tower, of course. It really went back and forth right here. But map 2, Eichenwald, and to be fair, maybe having a little bit of fun with this, right? There was this member for the Fiends here, kind of playing their own personal hero, kind of feels like. Sometimes I hear that doesn't exactly mix in with the rest of the compositions, and then we saw a very, very courageous ultimate attempt right there, and if it hit, that'd have been like a 3 or maybe even 4K, but obviously does not. Rue 66, regardless, coming up here in just a little bit, Nerdy Bird.
Yes, and before we jump into that, I just want to highlight Atlas on this Tracer. 21 eliminations, 5 ultimates, 9 final blows, 6.4k damage on Tracer. I mean, Tracer's a good one, can run a lobby. We've seen it across the board in every single league. This is why I both despise and love Tracers in lobbies, because it's like either you're going to be terrible and you're feeding, or I'm going to be dead off cooldown, and that's what most Tracers in this league make us feel like and make the enemy supports feel like, and definitely Atlas is one of those Tracer players. Now, you mentioned it, Route 66. Tracer, again, still viable. Do I think we're going to roll out on a Junkrat this time? I pray not.
Yes, we can hope and we can pray. But back to your point there, the Tracers, I don't think we covered this too much. Folks, if you're wondering, we're looking at like 80% capacity for top 500 players as well. Coaching staff entirely top 500, both of these teams right here. There is a couple of GMs there for the Fisher Fiends. So in other words, GM is the worst skill rank that you get within these 10 players as of right now. Okay, folks, you are looking at some high-level Overwatch.
Yeah, it is the worst in these high tier, the 0.05%. Grandmaster 3 and Grandmaster 2 and 1 players that are in existence is the worst that we get. The rest are the 0.001%. Like, holy McNuggets, these players are very good at their craft. I'm excited for Route 66, but this is still a best of 7, so while theoretically, yes, no one is at series point, if the Freaks do take this one, they themselves will be at series point. So right now, the Fiends, their safety net is borderline gone. This is their last opportunity to not be playing basically at the edge of the abyss and saying goodbye to their opportunity to continue through the entirety of this series.
Yes, once again, here for the CECC, that's the first place. There are other competitions. As long as the schools are involved on their conferences, they can still punch their ticket, yada yada. Regardless, either of these teams would love to go for it here. Put a fantastic foot forward, take it, push to the finals, take that W, and secure their position. Big Hurdles and Route 66 up here next, Nerdy Bird. Taking a look, compositions. We have seen a whole lot work on here as of recent, but we have to go back to the conversation about Orisa, the Battle Cattle, and just how much she can do.
I will lean into the Battle Cattle a little bit. However, I do think if you're trying to hold big Earls, Sigma works great. If you're pushing the cart and you're Orisa, if you're really good at rotations, go for it. You can run the Orisa. I've also seen some very successful D.Va play on this map, even into the Sigma, even into the BAP, the Brig. And it looks as though Avani is going to be rolling out on the Winston, and Syndrillion is going to be rolling out on the Winston as well. That was my next point of talking regarding the tank lineup, and that is you can also run the Winston. From this perspective, though,
go ahead, sorry.
Look at the Fisher Freaks positioning.
Just hanging out on top like they're doing maintenance on top of the sign here, folks. No one's going to see it coming. Nice purple down bottom, but yes, the same value that D.Va gets from these vertical positionings, Winston can get up there as well. It's a fantastic point, Nerdy.
Ooh, Junkrat finds an elimination, but takes a flail from Unred, gets eliminated thereafter. Avani is going to find themselves in the spawn room as well. Fisher Fiends taking advantage of the little over-advantageous positioning of the Freaks and able to find early eliminations. But the thing is, taking that first fight on the point does theoretically guarantee that the Freaks will make it back, but the issue comes in trying to control Big Owls, which is your point of contention in a lot of these fights. It's going to be a lot harder now because they gained all this free space.
Free space, we will take it. Doesn't come easily in the great game of Overwatch 2, especially when you have players like Atlas just continuously behind you and getting damage in. Now, really aggressive push. The Fiends have done a fantastic job holding it off so far. I gotta think, especially with how Ruka is hitting all of these antis so far, Kiriko's gotta be in their future, right?
A Kiriko swap, even a D.Va swap could be in the future as well, but now Junkrat's gonna come in and get put to sleep by Grandma who said it's nap time. I appreciate a Junkrat cosplaying as a Pharah just as much as anybody else, but sometimes you kind of just gotta let sleeping dogs lie and not go for the risky play. As Seeker is getting Tesla Cannon and tickled, the Winston on the drop down. That was a bubble in front of you, unfortunately, Skier, so the sleep won't land. Winston gets dangerously low. Elimination does not come through, and the retake has finally happened for the Fisher Freaks. So they're back on top of Big Owls, but here comes in a nanoed Winston. Ruka falls. Geist will also fall there after a nice little sleep from Skier onto this Winston who does have Primal Rage. Syndrillion chooses not to use it because unfortunately Lost Number and John Smith have both been eliminated.
Bonnie about 5% away from this one as the Winston on Winston battle does continue. Love will have to come back for the defense here in just a little bit, but taking a look at the ultimates as of right now, Freaks are winning that battle in every way, shape, or form. Atlas will have their secret bomb here soon.
Primal Rage is out. Unread is in the rally. Unfortunately, cannot proc the healing, can't find a target, so Geist will unfortunately fall there after. We also are now coming up online on 3 ultimates. We do have Riptire, but again, I question why we're staying on some of these heroes, but unfortunately, at the end of the day, Avani is still going to fall. This is the opportunity to go forward. If they find a foothold, will they, won't they, is my question. We also have Lost Numbered with this Bob online. I like me some good Bob. You just got to make sure the sleep is baited out, and Syndrillion, unfortunately, you've received a lot of these sleeps. Hopefully, it's not you getting slept.
Yeah, I mean, the hacks might come in immediately, but that would depend on Love really, really being on the ball right here. Here it comes. Guess is so low. That's a lot of Fiends members down, and just a tire to try and find something in the thick of nothing. There's one. That's not going to be enough. 60 seconds left for the Fiends offense.
Still have Bob online. We're coming up on that nano boost if you're Ruka. There is nothing in the bank for the Fisher Freaks. So theoretically, this one favors the Fiends. Well, they did get very close, but the payload has since fallen back. It's now almost in front of dead center of Big Owls. This is typically where you're sitting at midway through fight 1, fight 2. Instead, Winston is going to risk it for the biscuit. Avani will find Junkrat. Winston went up top, tried to distract the supports, did just that, but Avani will fall because of that distraction. You can't overstay your welcome in the backline. Tracer doing a lot of distracting as well, ends up getting dynamited. Brig is pushing forward, has another Brigitte in their line of sight. Which one will be the victor? Well, right now they're kind of just playing cat and mouse. Winston will come in to help out. We see the sleep come through. Syndrillion, are you going to pop the Primal? Yes, you will. This is last fight territory for your team. You need to keep the space in your control. They find Skier. They're following up onto Unread on this Brigitte. They're going to Primal Rage inside of the coal mine corridor, just trying to continue to push this Brig back. Avani has fallen off of our screens. We got to keep watching Syndrillion because this space created is absolutely quintessential for the squad to win this fight, and it works out. 2 minutes, 30 seconds on the clock for the Fiends to get to the second one.
A lot of value there for Syndrillion. It might have been a little bit comical almost watching them chase down this Brig in the way that they were doing it, just chasing down Unread pretty much the entire time, now doing it again off of Unread's respawn here, but this was money all day long. They knew that their teammates would have it, they had to faith, they had to trust within their teammates, and had to just take care of spawners at that point. A little bit of time purchased, and the Fiends are going to enjoy their reward.
Winston is going to disengage, come back to the payload, but now looks like Avani has got their line of sight set on. Yep. That was a Goomba Stomp if I have ever seen one. Avani also still has this Primal Rage online. Theoretically, John Smith will get a nice whip shot and prevent it from coming to fruition, but the disengage has already happened. Because we lost a DPS, a 5v4 is never advantageous. But the rest of the Fisher Freaks are claiming a lot of space back, forcing cooldowns early. That ante is actually insane. It will give the opportunity for Winston to go forward with his nano boost with no fear of getting anti. The anti also follow up. Will find John Smith. We see a hack attempted, but Syndrillion makes it out. Love is hot on their tail, trying to find this confirmed elimination, and they will also find that one. The Freaks are now halfway into the previous points.
That's going to be mostly a team fight win. Freaks taking out a lot. Avani is super, super low as of right now, and then gets a wayward shot in there. That's Lost in Your Bed, who finds that one here, but the Freaks should be back on the defensive side. A sticky bomb out. Freaks are really only looking at a single EMP, whereas the Fiends are staring down a barrel of 5 of them. Comes the call for the Riptire. And does not get, oh no, excuse me, does get up to Love. I thought that was actually a delete. Got down to like single digit there, Nerdy, but nothing doing outside of that one. Ruka done, taken out by the enemy support right now. Immediately pops Primal. Syndrillion was inviting them in. Step into my parlors, the spider fly.
We've got Rally instigated as there's 10 seconds remaining. There's the EMP. Junkrat's going to get eliminated. We still have Bob online. Here comes out Bob. Will Bob be able to find some eliminations? I think Bob doesn't even touch the point, which was the intent originally for that ultimate. And with that, no, I'll be a little gracious to the numbers here. I do believe the Fiends made it halfway through the second objective area in push phase. So 1.5 is all really the Fisher Freaks got to make. And just based off how Eichenwald went, which is why this map is a little scary, because at the end of the day, it is a hybrid, but after you can get the control point, it just becomes escort. I'm concerned for the Fiends because of how much they disregarded the payload during their attempt to retake after losing point 1.
That's an entirely fair evaluation, Nerdy Bird. This is a pick comp that was playing that to like the nth degree, like 150% here for the Fiends. They're consistently just looking for picks outside of this one. Yes, they would have Lost in Your Bed like frequently back playing onto payload and getting it through, but also Lost in Your Bed would frequently kind of get that tunnel vision as DPS or sometimes want to do to go forth, try to take picks. Freaks, meanwhile, were really spreading this map and just taking advantage geographically of every square inch that they were allotted, and Overwatch will frequently just come down to a battle of yardage.
At the end of the day, the objective is the most important thing. It's not how many kills or how much healing you have. If you don't push the cart, push the bot, or control a point, you are not doing your job. Now, with that being said, we still are rolling out with a similar composition for the Fiends, but John Smith instead going in favor of the Iati. Unred is going to pull out... Okay, Lifeweaver. We've settled on Lifeweaver. Avani is also on the Zarya. But our Ana has gone forward, and Skier was going forward basically to tell the squad the rest of the entire team's composition. I don't understand why Atlas or Love couldn't do that. Rest in peace, our poor Ana. You should be okay for this instance, just because Brig getting Inspire can eviscerate a Winston who's trying to run to safety and will not make it out alive.
So Lari taking one right here and kind of foisting out some wayward DPS damage, but that's going to be a long walk back from a really far spawn point right now. Guess is continuing on with the Junkrat as well. Fiends trying to set up on top of Big Earls to get something going for the defensive stop.
Atlas falls, Unred falls, the Fisher Fiends currently up 2, but it's important to keep in mind the spawn doors heavily failed to favor the Freaks. Junkrat, Guess is trying to rain down some damage from above. We lose Lost Numbered. Skier will ultimately get eliminated as well. Junk is going to sustain thanks to the pylon, as well as a little bit of paper being handed over. Spamming damage down into this corridor. Love will get eliminated by Sandrillion just underneath Big Owls. Right now, Fisher Fiends somehow they managed to sustain this, but the Zarya has not fallen, and Avani has a lot of charge at this point, so that Graviton should be online very shortly. We have to make sure Ruka still is going to have that Suzu to keep everyone alive. Tracer comes through, it's Atlas getting the punch, the wave of goodbye over to the Junkrat. Recall is going to be used, and we also did force out Suzu. This is an opportunity for a nice pulse bomb for Atlas. Are we going to get a good sticky, or is it just going to land on the ground?
There's still nice stick. One almost gets the second. Little bit of damage onto the second throughout all of this. Nerdy Bird, we have seen the offense still pushing. They finally stopped 5 meters outside after the Fiends just like, yes, high ground is good. No, it is not good if you leave this point alone and just completely pay every single bit of attention. Once again, trying to find picks. Again, having fun. That's okay.
EMP, Graviton Surge online, Captive Sun there to follow, as well as a theoretical Nano, maybe a rally. But this Grav right now, so long as they can get it in a great spot out in the open, the Suzu won't do anything, but Avani gets too big for their britches, finds themselves in the respawn room.
Big difference coming in here will be, I mean, do you pair the EMP with the Graviton Surge as well as a little sticky bomb action? Again, I say it all the time, Atlas, Tracer, basically a cooldown with how quickly they can get it. Not that they need it though, the way they've been chasing down the opposing DPS. Atlas maybe biting off a little bit more than they can chew. Captive Sun coming in, trying to find a wayward shot. It was in motion, hard to get. Now here comes the Riptire looking for something and goes for a support that is no longer with us. Do they know Avani's there? Yeah.
They do. So you asked about this grab, you put a pulse bomb in there and it's fine, but you got a high charge Zarya in your face is basically eviscerating you. That's also a problem. However, Avani had to grab the Mega before dropping the Graviton Surge, and so unfortunately it was not there. But we've got 2 DPS pushing the spawn doors at this moment, and we know for a fact that some of these players do not spy check. So the pulse comes out, it is good. Atlas can now evacuate the area. I also like the JQ swap, but that's because I'm a simp for any sort of the gothic strong women in these games. Avani, though, you're taking a lot of early damage, and your shout is not online. You're gonna have to use it to run into the Mega Pack. Bob is hot on your tail, as is this Winston, but now you've got Brig and Ana in tow with you, and it's a little bit of extra cover provided by the Zeppelin stores. Zeker will fall. Gestus falls thereafter. Last number has also been eliminated. Unread is gone. Fisher Freaks very close to this final parking spot.
Yes, they are. Now Atlas taking down the tank for the Fisher Fiends. There's the last little bit of healing capability with John Smith going down as well. Ruka will be next on the chopping block. A little cleanse action is not going to save you from the result of this match. Atlas finishes with a 10-player kill streak. If that's anything that you need to tell which of these two teams is really coming out on top.
Play of the game.
A little bit of a look at the DPS differences here, and yeah, you can't have that conversation without looking at Atlas once you look at the numbers.
All right, so that's Route 66 done and dusted, and coming up next is going to be Push. With that in mind, I want to, before the players finally get it to our production and prod tells us in our ears what map out of the 3 that we have, so you got a 30% shot at guessing correctly, which one do you think we'll end up on?
I'm just going to continuously vote for New Queen Street because I really like that. I realize it's not like a crowd favorite by any means, but New Queen Street, so it's one of my favorites.
So just based off of what we've seen thus far, honestly, I think we might end up going to Esperanza. However, if you want to continue to run this really burst damage heavy composition that we see coming out from the Fiends, you could go Coliseo, but as soon as you get to the first corner, that opportunity for that burst damage is dramatically decreased. So I think if we want to stick with Winston's, we're going Esperanza. If we want to get a little bit more creative, we could go over to New Queen Street. I'm still going to lean into Esperanza just because, to quote some individuals, it is the only push map that exists.
It's the only. I love that. I love that. Hands down a crowd favorite. You know, I referenced it and whatnot. It's not that I don't like it. It's just that it's kind of gotten the King's Row treatment for me in Overwatch 2 that it is like so much a favorite. And geographically, I can't argue with like it's the most well-rounded, right? But it's gotten the King's Road treatment. I just get so much of it. I just pull and claw at any sort of push that isn't Esperanza. There you go. We have the confirmation in our ears. Nerdy, you got what you want.
It's not so much that I want it. It's just based off of the tanks we've seen. And Esperanza, it is, you mentioned it, it's dynamic. It's a little bit more forgiving. And I don't like Coliseo. It's too close quarters very early on. This allows for Winston gameplay. You could theoretically go horse. We could see a resurgence of the Roadhog and turning people into pulled pork. It's all up to these teams. I think it's just a little bit more dynamically friendly as far as team compositions go with respect to the 3 push maps that are in rotation. And I do get it. It is the King's Row of the push maps, but there's only 3, and one of them is kind of dog water. And so with that in mind, you're really only looking at 2.
Yeah. At the end of the day, this just allows for a lot more compositions as well. Like, yes, there are clearly what heroes you want to go for initially, and then movement abilities just become so much more important once you take a major advantage or a major disadvantage, either one. As it is, coming into this, we have seen more of the Overwatch heroes featured in this matchup between the Fisher Freaks and the Fisher Fiends than are not in the game, right? So we've really seen probably about 18 or 20 of them so far, especially with the encapsulation of the Junker Queen. Absolutely love it, love it.
Hello.
And as a FYI, Odos has been subbed in, getting that damage pocket from Ruka on the Mercy. Ivani is going with this JQ, which I like to see. Question I now have is if you're not checking your corners and tunneling onto one person, how long are you going to be able to survive? Ruka will find the res, but then the rest of the Fisher Fiends are going to end up falling to the rest of the front line that's rushing through with the speed boost shout from Ivani in this instance. And yeah, just wave goodbye, Ruka.
Ivani just playing with their food, watching him die. Sociopath tendencies right here from Ivani.
Breaking them down. Keep pushing or get shot.
For a little bit of longer range damage here comes the pull as well. Centrillion, fantastic job of dislodging a huge source of damage. Sojourn here with love.
Oh,
Centrillion continuing on with this as well.
That second knife pull onto Atlas saying there is no way out was gorgeous, but now we're chasing down Avani. Sandrillion will find that elimination as well. Otis is swapped over to the Cassidy, which will allow for a little bit more opportunities to deal with the annoying flies of Lucio as well as Tracer. We do have Reaper getting booped around a little bit, trying to find an opportunity to get a sneaky shadow step into a different location, but now getting pincered from 2 directions is actually going to fake out and teleport back onto the high ground with their team in tow. So a little bit of a safer position in this instance, but no one has gotten this first checkpoint, and that's kind of where the rubber meets the road for this map, crossing underneath this bridgeway where, unfortunately for the Freaks, they got too advantageous and pushed out of the choke point. Ended up losing them that fight, but we have Kitsune Rush, and Sandrillion's going to end up falling. Ruka almost has theirs, but John Smith is gone as well. There's no point in using it. It's time to die on the push bot. And yes, the TS1 is now pushing in favor once again of the Fisher Freaks.
There you go, Avani, like literally like doing the encapsulating that Zach Galifianakis meme, doing the math, pulling the blade there early, now biting off way more than they can chew after the Cassidy feeds on headshots 2 meters away, and they're going to be able to get the advantage. Yes, they will. Further spawns now. 3 ultimates available for the Fisher Freaks. Unread will have that sound barrier here soon, but it's the Fiends who are glowing 5 in just a couple of seconds.
5 to 4 ults. Theoretically, the Fiends come out on top of this one as we punch the overclock first. Otis ends up falling. Kitsune Rush is going to be in response. Atlas has fallen, so we're equal as far as operative power on the field currently goes, but Love's doing a lot of damage onto the JQ, and in response, the Captive Sun will come out to try and protect Sandrillion, as well as the B on Unread in response to the Captive Sun, but unfortunately, it's not enough. John Smith will fall. Ruka was right before that elimination. Now it is just Reaper. Please don't hit your Q button, and you're just going to try and sustain on point a little bit longer. Looks like objective 1 is going to go to the Fisher Freaks.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will. And I have been there before. You want to make this garden bloom when you're holding that Death Blossom in front of 5, but everybody paying attention to you, there's no way you're going to get enough damage off from that one. The Fiends as well really need something to combine along with this Junker Queen ultimate coming in this next team fight 30.
Well, Suzu just got forced. That's a go button if I've ever seen one for ultimates. Ruka will get eliminated. Love is going to fall. John Smith gets eliminated thereafter. Recall has been forced out. It is just hunting season currently on this payload, and that was a 4v1, and that was a risky play to begin with, but you know what, I respect it. Now, are we going to swap? No, we are not. We have no ults online if you are the Fisher Fiends. The Freaks do have Pulse Bomb and close encroaching on both B as well as another Rampage. So, Atlas, you might just have to use your Pulse Bomb to force out the Suzu early, or you might just stick Ruka, and Ruka won't have the response action speed, so to speak, to get it back, but the Suzu's forced. There's your go button. But you take a kunai to the head instead. We're up 1 in favor of the Fisher Fiends, whose respawn is also closer anyway, so no option here is to back off a little bit for the Fisher Freaks with the help of that Lucio speed aura. So we have Echo going into the back line. That's Avani and Skier, both gone. Unread falls thereafter.
Love the Echo switch. This is exactly what the Doctor ordered for them. Much more mobile than Guess's earlier pick right here. Now Love is forced into the same situation. Well, John Smith is going to say hello and regret the introduction. Love has ultimate as well here. Now Avani is the only one on board the Fisher Freaks with ultimate as well, as Love is probably trying. I was going to trying to find a way out, but really, you're trapped in here with Love.
I don't know if that, in most instances, being trapped with Love sounds nice, but in this instance, it's the one case I can say that it does not. So currently, Love is pushing forward, has the support of their tank and actual supports right behind them to take these duels. Unfortunately, will get stickied and forces out that cooldown, is able to just rotate away to the opposite's high ground. Lucio disengaging. We have Rampage online, just looking for an opportunity to force out that Suzu. So we're going to go for the axe pull. Does not work out. There's the Kitsune Rush. No Suzu just yet, but Love has fallen, so that is bad for the Fisher Freaks. However, we're still very close to pushing this back into the final checkpoint. We have both Unread and John Smith pop those beats. Response high noon from Otis just to zone and get intel. Does actually find Avani in that moment.
That's surprising. They actually just barely crept out to the edge. Avani going to be a prime target and a fantastic one for a single ultimate. Skier kind of hanging out, just waiting for it. Kunai to the face on anybody foolish enough to try and push this one. But Love, once again, really going to be able, or not going to be able to find anything on this, and especially given that Gessis is playing He's so much more mobile DPS character. I really just feel like Love on the Sojourner is going to find so much less value onto their character.
I don't know. The off-angle opportunity created from Atlas, I think, can pull a lot of the attention from Otis, and that will give Love the opportunity to just kind of focus in on this Echo. But Avani is the one who really needs to be paying attention, finding themselves on the receiving end of a Lucio Echo team combat elimination. Echo's now hunting for this Lucio. The focus beam comes through after the stickies. Lucio will end up falling. That is Unread gone, as well as their main, as well as their tank. Unfortunately, Echo does fall to Skier thereafter, but that elimination came too little too late. That is a reset for the Freaks, and theoretically, Skier has some stuff to get out of jail free here. Doesn't need to use it, has JQ also for shout if necessary. However, we've crossed into the forward spawns and favoring the Fiends. This is where things get a little bit risky. We've got almost 3 minutes on the clock, and it's either side at this point with the Kitsune Rush coming out, the Rampage in response, but Skier for the Freaks is going to fall, and Avani thereafter.
It was a great job not popping anything as well. The Freaks had this this Widowmaker ultimate, excuse me. Now a nice stick onto Guesses. That is not an easy one to do onto a flying Echo. Here as Atlas continues to put in the work on the Tracer here for the Fisher Freaks. Got a Rampage on board for the Freaks. That's it. Got a High Noon. Of course, your Echo ultimate here for the Fiends as well. Getting a close involved. Nothing onto that one. Otis tries to kind of find this on something. There's the Rampage, and there's a lot more. There's Avani finding a whole lot for the Fisher Freaks, as this is one player away from a team kill, Bell. We're going to get rewarded with that one again, and that's what the Fiends get for their aggression on into their forward point.
Forward spawns now gone for the Fisher Fiends. Freaks have Kitsune Rush followed up theoretically by Unread, but the beat drop if we don't see someone get eliminated early. Yes, our Lucios have fallen quite frequently first in fights, but Johnny Smith also has that beat a little bit earlier. Initial Kitsune Rush from Skier. Atlas will unfortunately end up falling to Otis. Still fighting for this high ground control, but the bot is now being contested. Unread falls. Guesses will find themselves in spawn, as well Cendrillion. Otis thereafter. This is going to continue going in favor of the Freaks.
And not a whole lot of ultimates necessary on this one. Love puts it right between the eyes of John Smith. They're going to have their sound barrier coming on into the next. Otis saying that they're tired of this one. Otis looking for a little bit of headshot, a little bit of value right here. This is fully charged as the robot continues to push this one on along, utilizing the cover there perfectly as Junker Queen Cendrillion says that they want a little bit. Want to play here. Will the Widowmaker come out? Otis taken out right here as Love finds another target. Big boop on Taruka. Supports taking out supports. What is it, my birthday, Nerdy?
I love seeing Supportal Combat taking out your copy, but Avani is hot on the tails. Oh, we're actually using Rampage to try and sustain a little longer, get the cleave damage out, but Avani has their own Rampage online. You're gonna get pulled in with the knife. Some pot shots coming through from the copied Widowmaker, and Love is just saying that is you. Thankfully, it was not a copied JQ. It would be a repeat of like when Maga got copied. I hated seeing 4 cages all in a row. The Cendrillion ends up falling. There's Kitsune Rush. Atlas, basically it was a full team commitment to take out Cendrillion. That's when you know you're getting hard focus and just have to bow your cap to the enemy team. John Smith falls. Cendrillion coming out on the Doomfist. Is it going to be enough though?
Atlas with 3 of the last 5 kills. Here's the Doomfist, and you can only block in one direction. OT has come, OT has gone, and the Fisher Freaks have done it in 4.
Let's take a look at this POTG. I have a hunch it might be Atlas, but it could be
The last bit? Oh,
Avani.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, that was
With
the other
the
assumption.
Next to last Rampage? Yeah. Oh no, this is way earlier in this one, excuse me. Yeah, we really didn't see a whole lot of, well, we didn't see any tank play outside of the Junker Queens, did we?
No, we really didn't, but who needs an ultimate when you can just get POTG by getting eliminations?
I love that. No eliminations there happening solo dolo either. Both of these teams doing a fantastic job of really cohesive play as well. There were so many times, both of these tanks, Avani, excuse me, and Cendrillion was facing like literally facing down 4 different players, just pouring as much damage as they possibly can into them. Without supports right there, DPS pulling focus away and really putting pressure onto opposing supports as well, there's no way that these tanks stay alive throughout all of these. As Overwatch 2, when your tank falls, generally you are going to lose the team fight.
And the information that I have been told is basically if your tank is blowing up, odds are it's not actually a tank or a support diff. It is your DPS not doing enough to pull attention, and they're hiding behind your tank. They're not taking a wide enough angle. And it just came down to really throughout a lot of these maps, we did not have DPS that could take angles. And when you're unable to lock down an entire angle so that your tank is just taking the maximum amount of damage, not only just intended to hit the tank, but to hit you because you're right behind them, it puts them in a bad situation. So you got to get more flexible, learn how to use the map and its geometry to your advantage. We saw some of that, but there wasn't enough. I really wish that Echo Swap had come out much sooner, because this map could have gone a different direction had we seen it, after losing the first objective versus almost at the spawn door.
It's a fair statement, especially given we are getting confirmation now here. The Fisher Freaks tank Havani getting the most damage onto Esperanza as well. 30 limbs, 11 of them final blow as well. A lot of these are going to come off the back of that jagged blade as well. The pull coming in here and just spitting distance within 12,000 damage as well. Nerdy Bird. These are simply the kind of numbers that if you're the Fiends, you can't allow to have happen and expect to take a W out of a fourth map that you need to extend this situation on. And second, these are not numbers that come out from a tank without, like you mentioned, the needed, absolutely necessary support healing coming out from your various healers.
Most definitely, but I think everyone in company involved with this broadcast can deserve a quick breath of fresh air, a drink of water, and have the opportunity to take a break, because we're going to do just that, but we'll come back with an interview. What do you think about that?
Absolutely. This is going to be Unread coming back. Give us a slice inside the mind of a player post-match when we return in just a couple of minutes, guys. Hello and welcome back. FBI Tugboat here with Nerdy Bird. We just came off the back of a 4-0 sweep for the Fisher Freaks over the Fisher Fiends. And this is Esports U. We wouldn't get out of here without getting a little interview action going. We have Unread coming on down to give us a little bit of their time post-match. Unread, how you feeling?
Feeling good. That was a pretty fun match. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good.
Gotta love that. Gotta love that. Question coming at you having to do with the game here is obviously you're playing against the other team within your same school. Want to ask if there was any like personal vendetta here. Like, was there anybody who was really coming forth and always had your number on the hero that you were playing, which was mostly Lucio, unless I'm incorrect?
Honestly, the only personal vendetta I had was Sammy or Getsis over here behind me on the Junkrat. It was kind of insane on it. Like, there was a couple points where I died, where I'm like, what is that? What is he doing? And I don't know I don't know how he did all that on Junkrat, but yeah. But no, I don't have any gripes. I played with some of them on the other team in previous college semesters, and they're all very chill. So
Absolutely. All fun here. All fun here on Red. Nerdy Bird.
Okay, so my question for you, Unread, is it's still kind of in the similar vein. Was this kind of more just you understand that there is stakes at play here for winning this game, but because you're playing someone that obviously you're playing a group of players that are literally obviously sitting right behind you, as you just managed to point out to us, was it more just kind of playing a lot to have fun and not really anything was tilting like that in this instance?
we wanted to like have a little fun, but we obviously know what's at stake. We know this is to get into the final and to get the bid to go to CECC at Texas. So we wanted to make sure that while we were having fun, we still wanted to win. So we're just honestly waiting for next week to play. I think it'll be Illinois Wesleyan. I don't know if I'm wrong, but that's we know what's at stake. But it was fun. We wanted to have a little fun.
Absolutely. And I mean, hey, what is the purpose? Playing the game even competitively, not having a little bit of fun here on Red. Question for you, sir. As we all know, nobody gets to the competitions like this by themselves. On Red, I want to ask you, sir, if you have any shout-outs.
I want to shout out Carl or Love. We were playing the Seraphim in the background as we were playing. We were blasting music, having fun. So I wanted to shout him out for giving us a good music playlist during the game.
There you go. First collegiate match, Nerdy Bird, I've ever casted where all 10 players getting pumped to the same music. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Unread, thank you for coming on in, give us a minute of your time, and kind of a slice inside the mind of a player post-match. And good luck in your future competition, sir.
Thank you.
Not a problem. Once again, folks, ECAC, we have one half of our semifinals here done and dusted. Speaking of semifinals and more esports action here, Nerdy Bird, we got ECAC coming up, League of Legends semifinals on Friday. I believe that's going to be Keene University, Farmingdale State College going forth and doing battle on Friday.
Yes, and I wish them the best of luck, and I hope they still have a bunch of fun, whether or not you are listening to La Seraphim or other K-pop groups, because I personally am a Stray Kids fan, but anyone that says they're listening as a team to K-pop, automatically you're getting like a good noodle star in my book. So if any other teams do that, let me know.
Here you go. You got the Nerdy Bird support, folks. See how they carry that one on in to the finals. I want to give a shout out here to production staff on the day. That is Leighton, that is that is Scoots, behind the scenes, producing away, making our jobs as casters that much easier. Very much appreciate it. Nerdy Bird and I are just two individuals screaming in our rooms about esports that our production staff folks. So we very much appreciate that. Once again, no esports tomorrow. Friday, ECAC League of Legends semifinals, Keene, Farmingdale State College, FBI Tugboat, and Nerdy Bird. We will catch you guys on the flip side.